Hey guys, welcome to the Dawg House Podcast. Dog Nation, got a question for you. Who is on Georgia's all-time player and coach Mount Rushmore? We're going to discuss that this week with Coach I from the Sports Addict Network. Also, we're going to talk about all-time great football sports movies. We're going to talk the program. We're going to talk Friday Night Lights and some of the other hidden gems no one ever think of as greatest all-time football sports movies. And will all the coordinators for Georgia stay for the 2024 season? Will we have any movement in the offseason? I wanted to say I really appreciate everyone's support. The channel has really grown a lot this year. With that said, if you could like, subscribe, and share the podcast, that'll really help us out. Got a great special new guest, Coach I from the Fan Addict Sports Network. Been a fan of his. We connected on Instagram and also been watching his YouTube video. How we doing today?
What's going on, man? Hey, glad you have me on, man. Good to be here. Always good to talk dogs.
Exactly. Yeah, I've really been loving his Respect the Hedges podcast he's been doing. So yeah, great content there. I know it's off season, so it is National Signing Day, the old school National Signing Day that came out. So first question I want to hit you with: great number one recruiting class. All the hay was in the barn, so no real drama or
Right.
anything today. But I wanted to ask, who do you think might be the top signing in 2024 that'll play right away or make an impact for the
Does
Dogs?
it matter if it's a high schooler or transfer portal guy, or you just want to which one?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
high schooler?
Give me maybe a transfer guy and then maybe one of the 2024 actual recruits.
Okay. Defensively, high school guy. I think Ellis Robinson. I don't think he'll start, but
Right.
I think he'll push to be in the two deep. Kirby likes to rotate a lot of his DBs and corners. I know people point to KJ. KJ is more of an athlete. I don't know. He may get in the rotation, but I feel more strongly about Ellis because just watching him in the offseason, man, that dude and the in season, that dude's a real lockdown type corner. He has that dog mentality. So he's early enrollee. So
Mhm.
I think he has a good chance on defense to get into two deep. Like I said, I don't think he'll start, but I think Julian Humphreys and Dalen Everett have that lockdown. Offensively, uh, that's a tough one, man. Honestly, it'd have to be a transfer portal guy. I like a lot of our offensive guys, but offensive linemen, we know they take a couple of years to develop. So I don't expect any of them to play. Running back wise, I do expect Nate Frazier to get some carries,
Mhm.
but if Roderick Robinson is what we saw in the Florida State game, which I think he is, and Andrew Paul is now, I think, mentally over his knee injury from 2022. I think they're gonna share it with Trevor Etienne coming from Florida. I think those would be the three that we're looking at. So Trevor Etienne out of the portal, and of course the wide receivers. We didn't go get wide receivers for nothing, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think Kobe Young is who I'm looking for.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", 215, same build as the guy we got from Miami a couple of years ago in 2019, Lawrence Cager.
That's right. Yep.
So,
Great comparison.
and if Cager hadn't got hurt, I mean, I think he was on his way to having a great season. So, yeah, on offense, I think it's more the transfer portal guys, but on defense, I do see, like I say, Ellis Robinson. If I had to pick somebody like a long shot, I'd say I want to say Justin Williams, the
Mhm.
linebacker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kirby's been known to play the young linebackers. The problem is he's coming in behind like two of the best classes we've ever had. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all those picks, and it's great to have a number one overall recruiting class. Definitely go with Trevor Etienne. I think he's going to play right
Mm-hmm.
away. And then we need to find that. Seems like we got a deep running back group, just very like run young. And then maybe we'll get to see Branson Robinson later in the year. I know that was a bad injury, but maybe mid-season. Always good to have some depth. So if
Yeah,
he can maybe later in the season, maybe I don't know, October, November, maybe by the Georgia
yeah.
or by the Florida game or something like that.
I think that's a good call because he
Yeah.
hurt himself in fall camp, in 2023. Takes you, they get down physically, they get over the injury faster these days, but still mentally you're not the same guy, for another 8 to 9 months, in my opinion. That's kind of how Chubb was, 2016, Kirby's first year, he rushed for 1,000, but he still wasn't Nick Chubb, so not until 2017. Then we saw Nick Chubb,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Same thing with Branson.
Yeah. Another question I wanted to ask was Georgia's offense underrated the last 2 years, 2023, 2024. Reason why I bring that up is they were top 5 averaging, I believe it's 40 a game, 40.1 a game, and then 41 in 2022 when they won the national title. And is that kind of, since we're talking about the recruiting class, is that still kind of having top wide receivers and maybe even top quarterbacks, even though Dylan Ralla was committed and that whole drama thing? Do you think that's still kind of keeping like the top elite, like 5-star guys away from Georgia?
I do think that's
They're
something
underrated.
I do think that's something that every school uses their own brand of negative recruiting against the other schools. And when it comes to wide receivers in particular, I think it's always the message: you're never going to be 1,000-yard receiver, at Georgia, which that matters, but it doesn't. If people really know the game, we've put out more receivers into the NFL under Kirby's tenure than all but like 5 schools in the nation. So and none of those wide receivers had over 800 yards. So I think it is underrated in that aspect. I even think 2021 was underrated. I know the defense outshined everything, but if you think about how efficient our offense was in 2021, the defense gave us the ball around midfield on average, but we scored almost every time we got the ball. So I think you're right. I think it's been underrated. And I think this past season, I think towards middle of the season I think they start kind of looking at us like, oh, Georgia really does have an offense, because you couldn't deny what you were seeing from Carson Beck. And so I think they started saying, well, Georgia's got a really good offense, going probably like halfway through the season on. But people are so used to seeing Georgia just run the ball. And I've been telling people for the last 2-3 years, I was like, since Todd Monken came into Georgia, we haven't been a run-first offense since he got the job. So,
and were you a Bobo guy right away? I know he kind of.
Oh yeah. I was a Bobo guy right away because like a lot of people. It's funny, like when Bobo first got announced as taking over for Todd Monken, there was a lot of Georgia fans like, oh my God, Bobo, this is the thing. Like a lot of them just went early on in Rick's tenure. Like we had good defenses, the offense was kind of blah, and I think we expected a lot because he was the offensive coordinator at Florida State. Bobo, I try to tell people, Bobo didn't take over play calling duties till 2007, and then when he did take over play calling duties, it increased every year until 2014 which was his last year. And I think those last 3 years he was averaging like 37 points a game. And in one of those years, man, not to boo-boo on no players or nothing, but he had like JJ Green, Brendan, what's the other guy?
Brendan Douglas.
Brendan Douglas. His, Aaron Murray got hurt and we was playing with a backup. He still averaged 35 points. And I'm like, it's recency thing. You know what I'm saying? Some Georgia fans were kind of sour on him the first time around because they say he was predictable. I could get with that because I think he's somewhat predictable now, but I'm all about results. So if it works, I don't really care if they know what's coming. I don't care if me and you can watch a game and sit there and say, oh, we about to run a screenplay. If it goes for a first down, sounds good to me. It doesn't really matter to me. Todd Monken, it's hard to follow Todd Monken, you know what I'm saying?
Look what he did with Lamar Jackson. They were number 2 overall offense. I know 10 points in that playoff game was a struggle with Lamar Jackson, but you can't turn the ball over 3 times, as we know. But
Right. And what I found with the Bobo detractors, especially the Georgia ones, it doesn't matter what he does. They'll find a way to, say, well, it wasn't him or something. Like I saw on Twitter, like somebody pointed out all his stats from, this year. And the guy was like, well, we didn't win a championship. We won a championship under Todd Monken. I'm like, well, we didn't win a championship in 2020. I'm like, so I mean, it's his first year and we only lost 1 game. And I do think him and Carson had their worst game of the season in the SEC championship, but some of that was due to injuries, some of it wasn't. But Yeah. I think the outside people that detract from Bobo think about Colorado State, South Carolina for the 1 year he was there, and
Oh yeah,
I don't
Auburn.
even Auburn, yeah. And I'm like, it's just not the same. I don't know. I don't know how to quantify that, but it's South Carolina doesn't have the players, and I didn't think Auburn had a quarterback. So
Exactly. Yeah, for all those Mike Bobo haters, we can give a salute to them and a cheers. So want to give a shout out to vivatequilaseltzer.com. Been a great sponsor of the show this year. To get 20% off Dawg House 20 for 20% off. Be a great beverage for the Super Bowl coming up this weekend.
right,
Personal favorite is watermelon, elderberry, huckleberry is great, but zero carbs, zero sugar, only 88 calories. Really good on not giving hangovers. So yeah, check them out. vivatequilaseltzer.com. Again, that's Dawg House 20 for 20% off.
there it is. I like that. I'm about to try the Viva.
Yeah, there it is. Viva. Yeah, it's good. You like got a little tequila in there. It's great by the pool,
Yeah,
tailgate.
I'm a tequila guy, so I'm gonna have
Yep.
to try that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, and then also one other question that is debatable I wanted to ask. So, what is your Georgia? We'll go. This can be players and coaches, and then maybe go all players. Your Mount Rushmore for Georgia.
If we just go coaches, then it's Rushmore is four people.
Yeah.
It's all three that won the championship plus Mark Richt. So it's Vince Dooley, in no particular order, Vince Dooley, Kirby Smart, Wally Butts, and Mark Richt. So those are my four coaches. I don't know if you can argue with that,
Oh yeah.
I know some people will, a lot of people ain't as high on Mark Richt as I was, but I think without Mark Richt, we don't have Kirby Smart. I think Mark Richt showed us that we should be doing, more than what Ray Goff was doing. Jim Dunnan did a pretty decent job, but Mark Richt showed us like, no, you're supposed to be winning conference championships and being in the talks for national championships. And I think he was a bridge coach to Kirby Smart. So yeah, those are my Mount Rushmore coaches. Players,
Mm.
I'm gonna take on it like so just to date myself a little bit.
Right.
I was actually in school when Kirby Smart played, so at Georgia. So I'm only gonna go with people that either played when I played or later, like outside of Herschel, of course. I got to see him a little bit, but
Right.
I'm going with Herschel, Brock Bowers,
Go ahead.
uh Stetson Bennett,
Got two exactly.
and David Pollock.
Okay. That's the four. I actually like that. Of course, Herschel. I agree with that. I do like the Brock Bowers modern day because he was such a beast.
Mhm.
Um, I did like David Pollock, the greatest defensive player. I guess if I had to throw a debatable one in there, Aaron Murray, just because his passing records, and
If
then
I had to choose a quarterback personally,
yep,
to I would Aaron Murray's. I've always held him as the best quarterback to ever
right.
play, but I can't really deny that Stetson got back-to-back championships.
I do like the Stetson Bennett. So that the original four that you had, Brock Bowers, of course Herschel Walker, Stetson Bennett, and David Pollock was my definitely my four. But if I had to
Yeah,
throw a little maybe honorable mention in there, Aaron Murray, just because of the
yeah. I
um,
think Aaron Murray played with a lot of talent, but I don't know if he played with as much talent as Stetson played with.
exactly.
I think if you put Aaron on those teams, he wins back to back as well. But Stetson just got it done, man. So
Yep. And back to the coaches, I completely agree on that. I do think I go back and I think I was talking to my mom a while back. So with the Mark Rick, because I know he didn't ever win the big game, they got so close. But if
mhm.
he wins that 2012 game, get the national title, we maybe never get Kirby Smart and what we have. So
Right.
I know that was a lot of tears, a lot of just down on the in Alabama, ripping our hearts out. But we're not where we are because I think if Mark Rick wins that, he might. I'm not saying he's still here until he has the medical issues, but he might have been there. Kirby Smart somewhere else, like
Right, because
South
we
Carolina.
almost I was about to say we almost lost Kirby to South Carolina.
So
So
yeah, and
yeah,
kind
you're
of. I know
right.
we went through a lot of pain, but we're sitting pretty good now.
Right. 2012 was definitely it was rough. But if people don't remember Mark Rick's second year, we actually had a shot to go. We won the SEC championship. Had we not lost to Florida, we probably would have been playing Ohio State that year. It was Ohio State and Miami, and we was probably the hottest team. I remember Kirk Herbstreit saying nobody wants to play Georgia right now. We ended up beating Arkansas in the SEC championship, and then we beat Florida State in the Sugar Bowl.
Right. That's right. And then next question was, does Georgia keep all their coordinators this year? And where I'm going with this is, do we dodge any bullets from the NFL? I know it's not quite done yet, but
Yeah.
I think they still did they pick their new DC for Philadelphia Eagles? I was kind of getting a little nervous that they might call him Glenn Schumann because I knew they were going to get some new coordinators.
I don't know if they've hired anybody yet.
But do we dodge any bullets maybe from the NFL? Because it's getting more attractive with you don't have to go out and recruit, NIL, transfer
Right.
portal. Do you think we keep our staff? Because I think we have great staff.
I think we're good for 2024 on coordinators. Now, that's not to say that a position coach might not, have something come open. I think Glenn Schumann wants to coach in college. It's one thing, you want to go to the NFL, like you say, to avoid recruiting sometimes. I think NIL transfer portal, in my eyes, is kind of like free agency, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like you give up one for the other. So the only thing you really like saving time on recruiting, I definitely think coaches like that aspect of going to the NFL. But I think Glenn Schumann wants to coach in college, and it's got to be the right job. Now, like I say, I don't think Mike Bobo's going anywhere. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think Mike Bobo's comfortable where he is. He's coaching with one of his, longtime best friends. So if Kirby's there, I think Bobo's there. The guy now Travaris Robertson, the one we just got, I think we good for a year.
Yeah.
It seems like we're a good place for young up and coming defensive guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got the guy Jamal Adai from West Virginia, then he went on, and then we got the guy we just lost. We got the guy. No, after Jamal, before Jamal, we had the guy from Florida, Charles. God, he was a DB coach. He was only a DB coach for a year.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I forgot his name.
Yeah, but then we got Jamal, and then we got
Fran Brown.
And I like Fran. All these guys are up and comers, and I'm pretty sure Kirby knows this. But I'm always
recruiting wise, it's a home run. He's T-Rob.
Yes, I think so too. And I think that's what Kirby does a lot of times is when he went and got Fran, a lot of people was like, what? He coached at like Rutgers and Temple, but he was a good recruiter, as we've seen since he got to Syracuse. I think when you have Glenn Schumann, Kirby Smart, and Will Muschamp in the room, it's not so much about X's and O's as opposed to can you recruit,
Exactly. I think T-Rob's going to be great, especially coming from real good, real close to Will Muschamp, which I think getting Will Muschamp he's going to be less involved, but you're still going to get more knowledge in the room. You're getting him cheap for whatever it is, $50,000 or whatever.
Right, because he got all that money from South Carolina.
Yeah.
The younger Muschamp
is going. Dante Williams. He was going to be. He's a good pickup, even though USC's defense wasn't great. But I think great recruiter, West Coast.
Right, he's a great recruiter, and again, you're in the room with the Schumans and Smarts and Muschamp. You know what I'm saying? And while Muschamp is able to take a step back, which he wanted to do because of more so because of his younger son going to Vanderbilt, but I think the guy, as long as you can recruit, we're good. Like it's like as long as you can recruit.
Kirby's defense will figure it out, right?
As long as you got Kirby at the helm, as long as you can recruit, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, then one last question, kind of off topic, but not off topic, but something different. So favorite football movies, and you can go anywhere on this. I thought it'd be a good all season question.
That's a good one, man. There's a lot of good movies out there, man. Again, I'm an older dude, so I like the program. I like the program from way back in
That's
the
a
day.
hidden gem. That's good, man. That's one of those if it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
Listen, man, the program, of course, more recent, Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I like Friday Night Lights.
That's great too, man. You're picking all mine.
Yeah, man. All right, football.
And another one that I like, maybe not great, Varsity Blues, 90s.
I was thinking about it. I was like Varsity Blues, the whipped cream baby suit. We Are Marshall. I feel like it's very underrated. It's a true story, based on a true story. And I guess if I had to throw one like a curveball, I'd say Invincible.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Vince Papale and the Jets.
Any Given Sunday was good. It was long, different, kind of brutal, but not bad.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a
Yeah.
good one, definitely. Like I say, it's a lot of good football movies out there. And of course, I like football, so I might like some movies that. Listen, there was a movie on the Disney. Was it Disney? It was about the kid that went to Clemson. I forget what it's called, but it was a true story about one of their players who had to bring his younger brother in because the mother went to jail.
Right.
It was recent, like in the last 3 years or so. It was a pretty good movie. But again, I like football, so.
Yeah, and some more of the reality based. I think I watched one. It was a decent Amazon show. It was God, Family, and Football. They
Okay.
followed the Louisiana high school team.
Okay.
They used to be a great powerhouse, and they kind of lost anyway. They brought back their old coach, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
movies.
There's a good. And then, Coach, how do we follow you on social media? I know we got your YouTube page,
So YouTube,
Fan Addict Sports
Instagram.
Network. But yeah,
Yeah, so YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Fan Addict Sports. If you just like Fan Addict Sports on all of them. So I don't know if it matters on Twitter. It matters about capitalization, but on Instagram and Facebook, I don't think it matters. But yeah, Fan Addict Sports, man.
got your
Definitely.
website too right here, Fan Addict
That's
Sports
right,
Network.
man. That's right, man. Listen, man, I don't know how many people visit it, but we try to do a little something.
Exactly. Make sure and check those guys out. Over 2,000 subscribers and building, so that's great.
Right. We definitely appreciate all of our loyal subscribers, man. We do a little basketball here and there. It doesn't get as many views as football, though.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. Make sure to check out Fan Addict Sports Network on all social medias, YouTube, Instagram, um, and Twitter, X, whatever they call it these days. Twitter, X, I call
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right. We appreciate you having me on, man. We have to do it again, and we have to get you over on the Fan Egg, man.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, anytime. I'm always up talking to some dogs.
Cool beans, man. I appreciate it.
Make sure if you're still around, like, subscribe, and share the Dawg House podcast. And go Dogs. Hope you have a good night.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.